This installation video will cover many two-handle Roman tub faucet installations. For this video installation, we will be using the Pasadena Roman tub faucet on a thin finished deck that does not exceed 1 1/16 inches. If you are installing your Roman tub on a thick, unfinished deck between 1 1/16 to 2 1/16 inches thick, you will be using these parts, which are included in the box. And you will also need to order an extension kit, part number 974-375, one for the hot side and another for the cold side. If your deck thickness exceeds 2 1/16 inches, you will need to order the same additional extension kits for each side, plus a larger spout shank, part number 975-015. This product should be installed in accordance with all local and state building codes. These are the recommended tools that you'll need for this installation: 2 adjustable wrenches or 2 channel locks, a hacksaw, plumber's putty, and some safety glasses or goggles. Additional helpful tools are a flashlight and a cleanup cloth. If you're going to be installing the copper T with copper supply lines, you will need a soldering tool or a hand torch. Please see the instruction manual or seek a professional for help with this type of installation. Now your water supply valves to your tub are shut off, so let's get started. Take your new faucet out of the box. You should have the following items: 1 pre-assembled Roman tub spout, 2 water supply lines, 2 faucet handles, 2 valve bodies, 1 main body, 2 plastic washers, 1 plastic seal plate, 4 plastic ring washers, 1 hex wrench, screw and cap, 1 pipe T with seal, 1 copper tube T, 1 pressure test plug, 1 pressure test washer, 1 lock washer, 2 upper lock nuts, 2 lower lock nuts, 1 main body upper lock nut, 1 main body upper plastic washer, 1 main body lower lock nut, and 2 large extra nuts and 1 small nut for a thick surface installation. This installation video will show the faucet mounted to a thin finished surface on the deck that is 1 inch in thickness. First, you'll need to prepare the hot and cold water valve bodies and the faucet's main body. Each valve is either marked hot or cold on the top white plastic piece that's right above the 4 notches of each valve. Prepare the valves by threading the lower lock nuts onto the valve bodies until it reaches the bottom. Then place the plastic washer over and onto the upper lock nut. Now prepare the main body. Start by placing the black seal inside the T and then thread the main body into the T. Make sure you are tightening it on straight. Then slide the main body lower lock nut, followed by the lock nut washer, down onto the bottom of the main body. Make sure the bumpy side of the lock nut washer is facing up towards the underside of the deck. Now insert the cold water valve stem up and into its proper hole from under the deck. Then go topside to place the plastic ring washer over it and onto the deck. Be sure to have the threaded valve bodies both facing towards the center hole of the deck. Then thread the upper lock nut over the stem until you reach a hard stop on the valve body's shoulder, and then set it onto the deck. Now do the same for the hot water valve. Once both valves are in place, secure them both onto the deck and then tighten both lock nuts with your channel locks. When looking from inside the tub, you'll want to make sure your cold water valve is on the right side and your hot water valve is on the left side, and that both of the threaded valve bodies are pointing towards each other from under the deck. Then, from under the deck, insert the main body up through the center hole of the deck and hold it in place. As you go topside to place the upper plastic ring washer, followed by the upper main body lock nut, over and onto the main body's threaded outlet tube. Place and temporarily attach the main body onto the deck by threading its lower lock nut by hand from under the deck. Make sure to adjust it so that the threaded side fittings on the hot and cold water valves will align properly with the side fittings of the T. Then secure it to the deck surface by tightening both the main body's upper and lower lock nuts with your channel locks. Now you're ready to connect the existing water lines to the faucet. Here's a tip. If the valves in the main body are too close together, so you can't loop your water lines, use your channel locks to loosen the lower lock nuts and then slightly rotate the valves to give you some extra room to connect the hot and cold water supply lines from both valve bodies to the main body with an adjustable wrench. Once you've connected the water lines, make sure to retighten the lower lock nuts that you previously loosened in order to rotate your valves. Return topside to check for leaks by first inserting the thin washer into the pressure test plug and then inserting the threaded pressure test plug into the main body. Then go under the deck and turn on the hot and cold water lines. Return topside and without any handles on, open both valves by hand turning the stems and check for leaks above and below the tub. Once you've completed your water checks, go back below the deck to turn off both water lines. Return topside and slowly unthread the plug to release the pressure in your water lines. Next, you'll want to measure and cut the main body's outlet tube to be 1½ inches tall. Here's a tip. Wrap a piece of tape around the main body outlet tube to use as a guide for cutting it down to size with a hacksaw. Be sure to chamfer and deburr the edges and threads of the tube and remove any excess debris after cutting. Place the sealing rings over both valve stems, followed by the valve handles, making sure that they're pointing in the off position. Tighten them onto the stems by turning the base of the handle clockwise by hand. Check to see that both handles are properly aligned and that they rotate correctly before final handle tightening. Next, apply putty in the groove along the bottom outer edges of the deck ring plate and place it over the main body's outlet tube. Then mate the faucet spout to the deck ring plate. Tighten the faucet spout onto the deck by using your hex wrench to tighten the set screw in the bottom back side of the spout. Be sure that the spout is secured in place on the deck. And then cover the set screw hole with the cap. Go back under the deck and turn on the hot and cold water valves. Make sure the water lines are not dripping or spraying any water. Return topside and turn on each of the handles slowly and allow the hot and cold water to run for at least 15 seconds to clear the water lines. We hope this video made your DIY experience a success. At Pfister, your experience matters to us, and we're committed to providing the finest products and the best customer experience. Pfister. It's the experience that matters.